Hey everybody, Bryan again. Today over at Schoaf Park in Fort Wayne, Indiana, north side of town. I just released a video yesterday. There are a few things I didn't mention in that particular episode I thought I'd capture today. It is Labor Day weekend after all. It's a very nice day. I think we're running out of those here, so may as well get out there and do something. I want to do a little bit of show and tell though first. I was over at Target yesterday looking for something, and I like to go in the sports card section, see what's going on there, and didn't really find what I was looking for because I'm really looking for a box of WNBA Panini, either 2024 or possibly something older. I'm not too fond of, I think it was 22-23. I'd gotten a box when I first started getting into the league. I didn't really care for it. I like to get a newer set if possible. See if I can get some pulls of some players I like today. But I found these little collectible things. I think they're called Teeny Mates. You buy a little package. They hang on the racks. You get 3 little lockers per package, and they close up like that. And you put little stickers on them, and they connect together. You can stack them if you want to put them side by side. You can do that. But you get 3 to a pack. I think it was about $11 or something. A lot of players in this set. After opening my little pack, I saw that you can get Kelsey Plum, Paige Beckers, Nafisa, Kayla. A lot of folks I like to have. This was my 3 that I got. I have their little figurines inside the lockers here. When I pulled Aaliyah Boston, my wife was pretty happy about that. She loves Aaliyah Boston, and I love. They even gave her the colored hair on that. Let's see if I can get that to focus a bit. It's not going to focus too much. I've got a tripod, but I'm not really using it. I'm not sure why. Strange face there. I'm not sure if I like that too much. But when you buy a pack, you get 3 lockers, 3 figures. Comes with a little bench, a little cooler. Nice little touch there. I found this odd. I wasn't familiar with this player, this Diamond DeShields, but I could have sworn her name was misspelled. And sure enough, as you get the little insert that comes with these, it has her name spelled differently. In the way that I would thought it would be spelled, Shields. So, unfortunate error there. But I thought these little things were kind of cute. There's some Chase figures. There's a glow-in-the-dark Paige. There's a Brittany Griner in an alternate jersey. Jonquel Jones in the alternate New York jersey. I think it might be the Rebel jersey. I don't know. But that's a rare one. And I think the rarest one was an all gold. I cannot remember who it was. It was like 1 in 400 packs or something like that. So good luck getting that. But yeah, I thought these were cute. I looked online to see if I could just pick up Nafisa, and there was somebody selling her for about $7. So not a terrible deal, I guess. If you like this sort of thing, I suggest picking them up. They do snap together, so you can have them like that if you like. But yeah, these are cool. Let me see if I can get some more next time I go to Target. But today, let's do our little walk and talk. So as I explained last time we were together, I was floored by that loss by the Lynx against the Storm there in Minnesota. Tonight, just a handful of hours, they're going to get there. Hopefully, take their anger and frustration out on the Connecticut Sun there in Connecticut. Again, they only need really 1 win to secure first seed in the playoffs. As I'm battling these Nats. Ooh, they're bad today. If you've looked at the updated brackets for the playoffs, Been a little bit of a shake-up since the Indiana Fever beat the, who did they beat? I don't even remember. But I think they moved into sixth, I believe. Opposite side of the bracket than the Lynx. Number 1 seed, of course, is Minnesota. They are now slated to take on Golden State. That's a good prospect. With Caleb Thornton out, being a first-year team, I can't see them going far. I think they will pose minimal challenge. I don't think they're going to be a major issue for Minnesota. I think they could take them in 2. Down below, it's Phoenix and Liberty. That's really interesting. I kind of like the prospect of having the Liberty way on the other side of the bracket. I don't want to see them at all. I think they are a thorn. And after that win they got during their 4th matchup this season, and given that the team is coming back into their full strength mode, it's going to be a tough out. I know in the last video I talked about how they were kind of showing signs of a little more energy, better offense, without the big 3 out there. And I checked the injury report today. The big names are still day to day. I don't know what that's going to kind of amount to. But I guess we'll see in a few weeks or so when the playoffs start. I believe it's the 14th of September. Taking the long way around. There's a route here. When you come to this park, I'm going to sidetrack a little bit. This park is known for their golf course and disc golf course. I need to rethink that. There might not be a golf course here, but their disc golf, I think they have multiple courses, really big. I mean, like huge. So if that's your thing, come to this park. There's usually a lot of people playing. I have a lot of tournaments here and stuff. I don't really like the sport. Tried it. Didn't really connect with it. I'm realizing these little collectible things are kind of rattling around in my pocket. I'm gonna try to. There we go. Okay. Oh, this is gonna be rough, I think. Oh, look. Yeah, we got a tradition in this city. It's probably elsewhere. Probably not a big deal. You paint up some rocks, you hide them all over the city. You're supposed to take pictures of them and post them on a Facebook page. I don't know if they still do that. Kind of fun. I like it. I find plenty of them out and about. But anyways, this city has a lot of parks. This one I don't go to a lot, but when I do, I either do the big loop, which goes around the disc golf, and come to think of it, I think there may be a golf course here. I don't remember. But what I do know is I'm not going to come up to it here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a side route. It actually goes southbound into what will eventually become the downtown area if you take it far enough. This is the one that I'm a little more familiar with. I'll kind of explain more about that when I get a little closer to my destination. I think what I'll probably do is next time I come back here, I'll take the other route, go around the loop, see what's out there. Not a whole lot, just a really nice walk. Getting distracted by the little figurines here. They're rattling around in my pocket. But anyways, back to the playoffs. I like the prospect of the Valkyries. I kind of don't like seeing the Liberty in 5th position. I wouldn't mind them dropping to 6th, having a different team come on up. A team that I think Phoenix could take out. I like Minnesota against Phoenix, even though I really think Allisha Thomas is a great player. In fact, she just got her 2000th triple-double here recently. Major feat, my goodness. And I was going nuts when Jessica Shepard had got one for her Minnesota Lynx. That was her first, and that's a big-time thing. Allisha Thomas, I think, realistically has like 7 now. It's a big deal. She is someone that I think would be on my short list of players I would build a team around. I know Caitlin is like the hot choice there. In my view, she needs to stay healthy. I don't trust her quite yet. I like her. I think she's a good player. I don't trust her yet. But Allisha Thomas, absolutely. She fights, she scraps. It's a big deal for me. If you can play under the rim, if you can play in the paint, you got my vote. That's why I'm pro Angel Reese. Yeah, doesn't make points. It's not in the way she should be, but she's getting better. But Allisha's really good. But Phoenix is a team I don't know. I just get a feeling that they will not go far. They might get out of the first round, but I just don't think they could beat the Lynx. Aces right now, I believe the Aces and Seattle are on the opposite side of the bracket. Aces are number 2 right now. Seattle's number 7. Underneath them is Atlanta. Really tough team. They're squared up against Indiana. With Indiana's win, they actually moved from the 8th position to the 6th. It's so log jammed. They're in the mediocre middle. I know there's a handful of games remaining for all teams. It's probably going to change a little more. But if it ended right now, I think I'm fine with it. I like it. So what's going on in the league? I was talking to my wife about this. And in my last episode, I was talking about what it takes to gain interest in the league. What does it take to garner more support? More eyes watching the game, more bodies and seats. And it's still something that I'm not quite sure what the antidote is to the problems that the league has right now. Because if you look at it from the surface, they're doing well. And they know they're doing well. But when you have expansion teams coming through, it's going to water down the product. I personally feel. We were talking about this yesterday. You know, Philadelphia is going to have a team in a couple of years. I'm presuming it's still going to happen, irrespective of what next season is going to bring us, if anything at all. We're talking about basically team names. Toronto Tempo. Portland Fire. Okay. Philadelphia. My first thought was Philadelphia Freedom. Makes sense. It has the same sort of vibe as Atlanta Dream. I think it fits really well. I think they would have a better court. I wouldn't mind the red, white, and blue, but the problem is the Mystics already have that. Unless they kind of switch to mainlining that gold and black sort of thing, which is really cool in my opinion. Gives it that sort of spooky, serious sort of color scheme. Because we got the aces in silver, basically black and silver. May as well have the Mystics be gold and silver. That'd be kind of cool. Or gold and black, I should say. And they let Philadelphia be the red, white, and blue. Would they do that? I don't know. She asked me, my wife asked me, well, what's the NBA team for Philadelphia? And I said the 76ers. And she had a weird look on her face. Like, ugh. Yeah, I know. It's not a very good name. There's someone's watercraft there. I guess these folks who live back here. It's kind of fun. I wouldn't be surprised if Detroit and Cleveland just went back to their old names. I don't like it. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the Shock as a name. It's kind of cool. There's been a modern trend in the past couple decades to name teams in the almost the singular. Chicago Sky, not the Skies. There's a little noise back there. I thought it was a squirrel or something. Connecticut Sun, Indiana Fever. It's kind of like band names. Used to be, you would choose a noun, put the in front of it, and then pluralize the noun. The Platters. The Four Tops. The Temptations. If those bands, if those groups existed nowadays, it'd be Four Top, Temptation, Squirrel. Yep. See if I can chase them down a little bit. Deciding to hide. It's down here. And more of the same. Someone's craft. Cool. But anyways, Philadelphia Freedom sounds good to me. I would go with it. Not sure what they're going with. Not sure if that's revealed yet. Not sure what they're going to do with Detroit and Cleveland. I figure they're going to go back to their old ways. The Rockers. Not necessarily a bad name. I see why it fits Cleveland. Makes sense. But I can almost guarantee right now, irrespective of the team name, I'm not going to be a big Cleveland supporter. Just doesn't work for me. Not really my thing. Oh man, look at that. Man, that's real close to that power line up there. Holy crap. But I mean, we'll see what's going on in the future with that. So we're crossing through a little bit of the residential area. Continuing this walk. This is going to go over a bridge. One of our rivers, one of our very muddy rivers here in Fort Wayne. I've got an interesting story you might like about this particular area up here. So one of my walks, because I just walk this area. Sometimes I'll ride the bike, but usually I just walk it. But one of my walks, I was walking through here, and this was during a time when we hadn't been getting a lot of rain. The river was very low, almost to the point of being nearly dry, like completely dry. At least that's the way it seemed. I'm going to climb up here you can see right now, it's kind of the same thing. We haven't been getting a lot of rain. In fact, we haven't had a lot of rain in a while. But one day I was walking through here, it was a lot like this, just mud. But there's a little more water. And I happened to look down here, and I noticed a little piece of metal sticking out of the mud, out of the water. And I looked closely, and it was a bicycle. Somebody had dropped a bicycle in the river, and what I think had happened was we have an issue with vagrancy, homelessness, people living under bridges and such. And what I think had happened was there's probably a time where we had flash flooding, and we do have that here from time to time. It may have swept it away. Just brought it right into the river. It didn't go far. But I decided, you know what, I'm going to get this bicycle out. So what I did was went home, grabbed my magnet fishing stuff. I believe I've talked about that before. Came back out here, threw the magnet over the side of the railing here, caught onto it. I was pretty lucky with that. Dragged it a little bit out of the water. Not too much though. And I was able to pull it out and up where I'm just kind of hanging it over the rail here. But I couldn't get enough strength to literally bring it up high enough to grab it up here. So what I did was I went down to the shoreline and kind of dragged it. Let's see if I can get a shot of this. Way back there. I'm not going to pan in. I don't want to deal with that. But I had to drag it basically through the mud to get to the shore. And it was a pretty nice bike. It was, it had some damage to it. Because it seemed like it had been there for a while. But it was an Eddie Bauer bike. I'd never seen a bicycle either promoted or designed or created by or with Eddie Bauer in mind. If you're not familiar with Eddie Bauer, it's kind of one of those men's clothing, sort of male-based, rugged, somewhat outdoorsy brands. They have some storefronts still in existence. Probably taking a lot of noise in from the road here. Kind of sucks, but oh well. It's kind of what I do, take you right into annoying, frustrating areas to force you to listen to. That's just me, and I'm talking about the peripheral noise here. This path is going to go down a bit and curl around under the bridge. I used to live out here for a while. In fact, I could see the entrance to my old home up there. I'm gonna cut down through here. Try to go down this hill carefully. It is literally, wow, about 45 degrees. There we go. See my shadow down there. Hi, how you doing? So, that reminds me. So if you've been paying attention to sports, I'm going to mention again that we are already in football season. In fact, we were a couple weeks ago. Oh, there we go. Got the pigeon twins over there. Oh, there they go. A lot of pigeons up here. We have a lot of starlings. Swallows and pigeons up through here. Anyways, if you've been paying attention to sports, when you're trying to get your fill of WNBA news, you're inundated with football news. Because if I didn't know better, I would have thought the college football season had started like a month ago. Talking heads can't get enough of that. The only time they talk about the WNBA is when there's some drama. Someone throwing something on the court, or Caitlin Clark has a hangnail. But today is, I believe, officially week 1. And right now I've got my Miami Hurricanes gear on. I got a hat, shirt, and everything. I got to take on Notre Dame tomorrow night. Probably going to lose. It's been a long time since they've been legitimate winners. Had a chance in 2003, lost to Ohio State on a bad call. Still hate that. In fact, back when I was an avid listener of Jim Rome, I wrote an email to him, because you know how it is. If you ever listen to him, if you write in, it's got to be really sarcastic. I made mention of that loss by the Hurricanes in 2003 to Ohio State. He actually read my letter on the air, laughed at it. I don't remember exactly what I said, but got a little bit of a chuckle out of that. But today I've got my gear on. So right now they're undefeated, 0-0. It's nice. All right. Right up here, I could go straight and go right to my old apartment complex from, 20 plus years ago at this point. I'm going to curl around the back here. Gets a little more quiet. Now, what I'm on right now is not a loop. This is just a straight shot south. It'll connect to other peripheral trails, and I could navigate it to some of our official trails. Like right now, this is considered an official trail, but you have to do a little bit of rolling around, digging around to find where the main ones are. It's something that our city has done a really nice job of doing, connecting all these paths. It's going to be a lot of fun when everything's done. But that's enough of our environment, at least for now. A lot of nice flora over here. A lot of weeds, but some nice flowers too. Back to the W. News for the league is sparse. It's the downside of having a league that's just not very popular. We're in that point where, when you look at the injury report, and I mentioned this before, and it happened again. I look at Caitlin Clark, I get the feeling Indiana is just riding this out until they get to the playoffs, and then they'll have her play again. It's almost as if they don't trust her. Is that the case? I don't know. If it is the case, and Indiana is in a fight basically every game for positioning in the playoffs, then Minnesota should not be playing Nafisa at all. They've already got it locked up. They need one win. They dropped an egg against the Storm. Certainly they can go to Connecticut and beat them. Upon last check, they have an 88% chance of winning. Now Connecticut is sneaky. in that their defense has been really, really tight here lately. I'm not sure how they're pulling that off, but they are. And I was thinking about Connecticut lately. When I pulled that Alyssa Thomas figure, I'd like to do a little bit of research as to what happened with Connecticut last season. If you remember, it started off like on fire. Just incredible. And then it kind of fell off, lost in the playoffs. And then their entire team decided, you know what, we're going to leave. They just all left. Basically a brand new crew this season. The opposite of New York and Minnesota. Bottom dweller. Bottom three pretty much all year. What are they going to do? They're in a kind of a regrowth mindset. I don't know who they're going to really rely on. Who's their headline player? I don't know. Who should it be? Who should they pick up? What are they going to do? Are they even going to remain in Connecticut? I mean, a lot of this stuff needs to be answered. I'm looking around over here. These apartments, they were nice. We lived here, I want to say about 4 years, maybe 5. Excuse me. Got the sludge throat thing going on right now. We lived in an apartment on the bottom level. These are 2-story apartments. I think one of them was back here somewhere. We had neighbors above us that had these little yap dogs. I believe it was episode 1 or 2 where I said that I don't like dogs. And I still don't. If you do, fine. I don't like dogs. Unless you're a veteran. Unless you are blind. Unless you have special needs. But most domesticated dogs I don't care for. Anyways, we lived in the apartment. And there was a neighbor above us with a couple dogs. And those are yap dogs. And they would yap all night. Because the person living above us would go out, hit the bars, come back around, 1, 2 a.m. And there was nothing we could do about these dogs. Well, we kind of had to just deal with it. One day, we went out to the porch and we started smelling something. I was like, what is that smell? It's awful. And we looked around and we noticed that there was urine all over our, patio table, chairs, things like that, on the patio itself, the rug. It's like, where's this urine coming from? We looked up. We could see where there was drippage from the upstairs patio right above ours. They let their dog out, urinated all over their patio, dripped down onto ours. I was like, what the heck is going on here? So we contacted the management company, the property manager, and they gave us a hard time about it. I was like, well, what? Are you just not going to do anything about this? So one day, we went to work and we came back, and there were cleaning products sitting on our patio. Like someone had come to just scrub everything and then leave all the materials behind. In other words, we couldn't really get them in trouble because all the evidence was gone, at least seemingly. Now the cleaning products, all they'd have to say, well, that's probably yours. But we found it really odd that rather than getting those people in trouble, They decided to just come out and clean. Not replace our things. Thinking that, oh, if we just clean the pee off of your table and chairs, that's good enough. Well, no, it's not. Sorry, but no. It was soon after that we had left anyways. We were tired of the place. In fact, perhaps where you live it's the same way. But in our city, the south side of town has a bad rap for being crime infested, where no development is. Everything went north and west. But living here for about 4 to 5 years or so, we had more trouble with neighbors, with just general crime in the area. My car was broken into. Someone stole my old iPod, the big brick-sized iPod. I think it was the first run of those. They tried to take my stereo out of the car. Not that I had something special. It was just a little Circuit City, Best Buy, Pioneer stereos or something with a detachable faceplate. There was some devious sort of crime taking place here too, dangerous crime. Someone had come to our front door banging on it, trying to get in. I was gone, my wife was there at home. I get up to the door and I see this guy standing there banging on the door. I'm like, what are you doing? He goes, I don't know. I go, I think you better leave. And he did. But I lived out south for a long time. A lot of my childhood was out there, going into adulthood before I got married. Never had a problem. Kills me how a stereotype can kill an area of town unnecessarily. That's how it was. And it kind of still is, if you think about it. Maybe it is for you where you live. Maybe there's just areas of your town that just get a bad rap for a stereotype because of who lives there. It's just not fair. This path, as you can tell, I've got a little bit of glare on my side. I think I've got it centered pretty well. This just goes on. To your left is a soccer field. There's a sports sort of facility back here, a lot like the one near Eagle Marsh. Big dome. Kind of cool. I probably won't be walking this whole way. It doesn't really go anywhere I care to go. My destination really was just this particular spot. Because I think I'm actually coming up to my old apartment. I think I see it over there. So we lived in 2 different locations here. We had a 1-bedroom, then we upgraded to a 2. So I found out that at night I need a place to sleep that's quiet. Like if I have sleeping problems, I have to have like my own little place. So got a secondary bedroom for me so I can go sleep in there from time to time. My sleeping problems go all the way back to when I was a kid. That's unfortunately a dark period for me. And that's related directly to my mom and what she had kind of gotten into when I was just a little kid. You know how it is. Dealing with parental issues, having to grow up really fast, and then manifesting that stress and anxiety into other ways. And for me, it just happened to be sleeping problems. But enough of that. I'm going to plan to watch that Lynx game tonight. I want to see them come out. I want to see them like right from the get-go, just like in that Seattle game, first quarter, up like 25-8, something like that. But hold on to it. Don't let Connecticut come back. I was watching the Wings and the Dream. Jeez. Can I just say something real quick about Atlanta? They're really good. I'll get that out of the way. That court's got to go. Get rid of that black court. It just that dark gray, almost like a street ball sort of court, asphalt type feel to it, type look. I don't like it. It doesn't work for me. I'm just kind of looking around here. I'm getting distracted again. I think I might turn here, see what's going on over here. This path is not doing it for me today. Wait, what's this? Talking about a feeder dam around here. Interesting. Soccer fields. All right. Yeah, there's a sports center right over there. And if I follow this far enough, I get back out onto a main boulevard through town. It takes me further away from where I started. I'm not going to be going there. Probably never will. It just doesn't benefit me at all. It's empty. Nobody playing today. Back to Atlanta. Sneaky good team. Dallas, however, they put up a good show. My wife and I were watching, and I go, you know what? This is the sort of game where Atlanta will be up by 12 at halftime and then win by 20. It was almost that. If Atlanta had hit a three-pointer there at the buzzer, they would have hit 12 points on the nose at the end of the first, or the first half, I should say. But it was up by 9. End of the game, I think they won by 21, 22, something like that. Ryan Howard, jeez. She's one of those players. She's kind of like Alyssa Thomas to me, where she doesn't really say much. She does a lot. She has a strong presence for that team. But she's kind of quiet in a way. There was one time where she kind of barked at another player who's trying to defend her at the rim. That's one of those few times where I see her get animated. I like those players. She reminds me a lot of Sonia, where you just do your job. That's all you have to do. You don't have to complain. You don't have to excessively cheer. You don't have to do any of that. And she does that well. Her three-point shot is wonderful. I think she's another one on my short list who I could build a team around. She's a great leader. But when I see Allisha Gray, or as the announcers put it, Allisha Gray. Oh, by the way, just to clarify, Allisha Gray wears glasses, not goggles. Every time I hear that announcer, there's one of their arena announcers for their broadcast keeps calling them goggles. And it drives me nuts because they're not goggles. Goggles, by definition, seal on your face. That's why when you are working with chemicals, when you're in a job where you're cleaning something with high-powered water, jet water of some sort, you need a way to protect your eyes from that splashback. Glasses are not going to do it. Some places allow you to wear safety glasses, but with a face shield. That's typical OSHA PPE, personal protection equipment talk there. But Allisha Gray does not wear goggles, they're glasses. I'm thinking, because I'm just that way, I'm thinking about contacting that announcer and saying, look, those are not glasses, or excuse me, there's not goggles, those are glasses. So I'm done with it. That might, you know what? That might be my quote today for this episode. Allisha Gray wears glasses, not goggles. How about that? Not that Alyssa Thomas is an incredible player. Not that Ryan Howard is someone I could build a team around. No, my focus today, Allisha Gray and her glasses, not goggles. If I knew anything about hashtagging and all that stuff, I'd probably make a hashtag. Glasses, not goggles. I found out Alicia's glasses are custom made for her, which is good because if you saw that game yesterday, she took a shot. Wow, right to the face. She's going for a ball under the rim. Good for her. I want to see more of that from everybody. Slips, falls down. I can't remember who it was for Dallas, but they're getting the rebound. It went back towards the rim in Alicia's direction. Kneed her right in the face. Her glasses were already off. So they protected her one time. Second time they weren't there. But she took that shot basically right in the mouth. It didn't seem to be that bad, but if you look at it in real time, ooh, physical. She was. But Atlanta, generally speaking, tough team. Really don't want to see them in the playoffs. I think they're peaking at the right time. Not as well as the Aces. They're just, where was this first couple of months of the season? It was out of nowhere. Asia's turning it on, looking to be probably MVP. I think she's probably my number one. I don't want to see the Aces in the playoffs. Certainly don't. Good luck, Seattle. Skylar. Dominique. She's cool, by the way. Do you like Malonga? I think she's good. Now, the announcers cannot help but tell us and remind us repeatedly that she's young, 19 years old. She's just a baby. Good job, Rook. Yeah, she's also big and tall. Awkward when she runs, but she's got some good footwork. I think she's what, if I could go back in time and watch the season when Brittany Griner came out, probably very similar. I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case. But as far as temperament, ability, I think in a good 2 or 3 years, she's going to be as good as Griner ever was. And if I sound like a dismissive person, well, maybe I am. Maybe I just don't like her. I don't mean to. We all know what happened with her. We all know what she's done in the league. We all know she likes to tie up defenders. Toss them to the ground. Hip check them. Put her hand in their face. That's good defense, by the way. Hey, here's my hand in your face. But I think Dominique is going to be really good. She's good now. In fact, this draft class was really good. Obviously, Paige. Obviously, Kiki. Turning it on here to end the season. Sonia, I love Sonia. Jeez. I think Dominique found the right team. Maybe that's it for me. They have a good mix of veteran and young players. I think they're the right tempo for her. I think they did the right thing. I think Coach Quinn did the right thing in having her build up her minutes rather slowly. When the season began, I was like, oh, I want to see her. She wouldn't even get out there. And when Seattle was up big in the fourth quarter, oh, we get Dominique for a couple cycles. He's out again. Ticked me off, but I understood why. Now we see her getting, double-digit minutes, putting up a lot of points, decent rebounds, working on her passing, handles, footwork. All right. Good job, Seattle. You're doing it right. It's kind of like that NBA approach. Or, NFL. Get a new quarterback. If you're not a terrible team, you let that player sit for a while, watch things from the bench, learn from the starter. Then when you're ready, you get out there and you take it over. You don't get launched into a game expecting to become Patrick Mahomes out of nowhere, like some teams do. And we got somebody out there, can't really see it through. Someone's in a boat. Yeah, kind of hard to see through the brush here, but I like the idea of this incremental sort of tap dance into the game, into the rotation. I think it works. Some players, you just know what they can do. It'll be interesting to see where the newcomers, providing there's a season next year, where they'll go, how they'll be managed. Clearly a team like Connecticut needs somebody right now. Goodness help you if you end up in Connecticut or Boston or wherever they're going to be, if they even exist at all. I like the idea. Ooh, what's that? I talked a little bit about Sabrina, just thinking about what would happen if she were on the Mystics. Well, you're crazy. There's no way she'd go to Washington. Well, hold on. Nothing's secure. It's the WNBA. They move people around as they wish. Even the Lynx and their ironclad roster, they're going to lose some people. And that's something I'm worried about. I know it affects everybody, which makes it fair, but we're adding 2 teams. That means they're dragging people from the comfort of their team now to go play in Toronto, to go play in Portland. And I worry about who Minnesota would give up. And this is the honest truth. I adore Bridget Carleton. I really do. Her numbers have been a little off because I think she's more of an asset in the sense of, okay, I'm going to get you the ball. I'm going to set your screen. I'm going to get you the ball. I'm going to be open in the corner, maybe for a 3, because she can hit them. But numbers-wise, she's not keeping up with the rest of the team. I'm afraid that Reeve is going to look at her as being just a little underwhelming and send her to the draft. She could be a starter for Toronto. She's Canadian. Seems to make sense to me. I could see Bridget Carleton starting for Toronto, going back home. And I'll tell you what, if she does, I'm saving up money for a Tempo jersey. I still love the Lynx. They're my team. But I think that fondly of Carleton. I want her to succeed wherever she goes. Wherever she is willing to take that smile, I want her to succeed and be happy and be healthy and play the game as she enjoys. But I don't want to lose her. I really don't. She's part of the enjoyment I get out of watching Minnesota. She just brings a glow to the court that not a lot of people have. And I think of who else might go. Diamond Miller, previously of the Lynx, previously a rather high draft pick for them, is now playing for Dallas. Didn't really do so well with them. Kind of a middling player for the Lynx. She was hurt for a while. Came back, tried to make a push. Supported her. Couldn't quite cut the mustard. Gone. Alyssa Peely, fan favorite. Fans loved her. Every time she hit the court, massive cheers and applause for her. Because they like her. No, she doesn't score a lot. No, she doesn't really have a certain definable strength that sets her apart from other people on the team. But people loved her. Gone. I fear the same for Bridget. I really do. I don't want to admit it, but the prospect of seeing her start for Toronto could be pretty high. And that Canadian connection, I think that's real. I've not heard anybody talk about this, mainly because no one likes to talk about the WNBA. But if you do, you probably have a better channel than I do. This is all just raw footage. Me talking from my head and my heart. My head says she's going to Toronto. Or at least there's a sad possible chance of it happening. This little building here is kind of cute.